morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 9월 27일 금요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. Well, people can easily make choices and become a fan. Well, they devote their time and efforts to share or promote certain items. This can be brands, food, movies, and even a language, a foreign language. 안녕하세요. 저는 백모당입니다. 미국 사람입니다. 한국어를 사랑해요. 자, 팔순의 스탠퍼드대 중문과 교수 토마스 발러트 씨가요. 한글에 대해 푹 빠졌다고 이렇게 얘기를 했는데요. 그가 한글을 처음 접한 것은 지난 여름 미국 현지 한국 학교에서 7주 과정의 한국어 프로그램을 신청한 것이 시작이라고 합니다. 짧은 시간에 한글을 깨우쳐서 얼마나 기쁜 일인지 모르겠다고 얘기했는데요. 특히 교수는 한글의 과학성을 높이 평가했다고 합니다. 최고의 목판본으로 다란이경, 또 최고의 금속활자, 직직, 세계의 언어학자들이 꼽는 최고의 언어, 한글, 최고의 메모리는 반도체까지 지식 전달 수단에 우리가 늘 앞서고 있다는 생각이 드네요. Well, learning a certain language also implies learning about its culture, and this professor surely has earned recognition for doing something he loves, learning and promoting Hangul and presenting our culture along the way. With that in mind, let me give you today's quiz question. A person who's very fluent in a certain language, so fluent that it is their mother tongue that they're speaking, can be known as a something speaker. Is it 1번 a native speaker, or 2번, an AI speaker. 자, 이렇게 굉장히 모국어를 유창하게 하는 사람을 이런 스피커라고 하죠. 어떤 건지 아시겠죠? 1번 native, 2번 AI 중에서 골라주시면 되겠습니다. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. 또 여러분의 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, then let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
China has sent a note of protest to the United States following the U.S. Congress's approving a bill on democracy and human rights in Hong Kong.
미국 의회 외교위원회에서 홍콩인권민주주의 법안 심의가 통과되자 중국 정부가 강력히 반발하고 나섰습니다.
A magnitude 6.5 earthquake has hit Ambon in Indonesia's eastern province of Maluku.
인도네시아 암본섬 인근 해상에서 규모 6.5의 지진이 발생했습니다.
Abortion has now been decriminalized in almost all of Australia after a bill was passed in New South Wales.
호주 뉴 사우스 웨일스 주에서 낙태 처벌 법률이 개정됨에 따라 호주 전역에서 낙태가 합법화됐습니다.
Italy's constitutional court has virtually ruled in favor of euthanasia, opening the way for a change of law in the Catholic country.
가톨릭 국가 이탈리아의 헌법재판소가 사실상 안락사를 인정하는 판단을 내렸습니다.
Former French President Jacques Chirac has passed away at the age of 86.
ዣ크 시락 전 프랑스 대통령이 향년 86세를 일기로 별세했습니다. And for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Steve Hatherley. Good morning, Steve.
Happy Friday!
Yes, TGIF. Woo-hoo. Favorite day of the week.
Is
How
it?
are you? Well, it is now.
Yeah. I think the best moment of the week, right? Not the best day.
Yeah.
Not the best hour. The best moment is that time when you walk out of your office on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, because here's my reasoning.
Yes.
That moment until Monday morning is the longest amount of time that you have away from your work, right?
True. I think a lot of people going to their offices right now will be able to relate to that.
Few hours away. The weekend is
Yes.
almost here. Yeah, I'm doing well this morning. How about you?
I'm doing very well. Our opening today was about the Korean language and Hangul, and this professor of Chinese over in America started taking this Korean course just for 7 weeks, and he mastered reading Hangul, and he thought, oh my goodness, this is such a scientific language, and he's fallen in love with the language,
Right.
which is lovely. As a Korean, I'm very proud.
I remember learning to read Korean many, many years ago from a pizza restaurant menu. That's how, no kidding. That's how I learned to read.
Canada or in Korea?
In Korea,
Okay.
after I moved here.
Yeah.
And the reason it was such a good idea to use a pizza restaurant menu is because a lot of the words are the same. So
Oh, that's right.
on my left,
Yeah.
I had the pizza restaurant menu.
Yeah.
On the right, I had my Hangul characters, right? So, ch, okay, ch, chi, chi, cheese. Cheese!
아, 그렇게 공부하셨어요?
Pepperoni, olive. So a lot of the words are the same in English,
Yeah.
so it was easy to know whether I was doing well or not doing well, whether I
Yeah.
was right or wrong.
Right.
And that's how I learned to read.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to pizza.
Only takes a couple of hours to learn to read.
That's what I've been told. I don't know because I'm not, Hangul is not foreign to me.
Right.
But I've been told for a foreigner who learns Korean for the first time, at least Hangul, it takes less than a day to be able to read it.
Took me 2 hours.
Wow.
But you can read, but you don't understand
Yeah,
what you're
that's-
reading.
of course,
and
yeah,
I
of
still
course.
have that problem these days. Yeah.
Good
But
job.
interesting too, you were talking about culture and language
Yeah.
in the opening as well.
They
and
go
I
hand in hand.
They do indeed. And I remember when I first moved to Korea, the very common question, 식사했습니까? 식사했어요? But they would ask me in English, my coworkers,
Yeah.
did you have lunch?
Right.
But in Canada, of course, we don't have the same history
Yeah.
as Korea, so we don't ask each other, have you eaten? So
what was your response or reaction to that?
well, I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you eaten?
Yeah. Have you?
Why are you asking me this question?
Exactly. But then, as I learned the history of the country and the culture related to the language, then I
Yeah.
completely understood. And of course, now I ask that question daily too.
And well, you know what's interesting is I have friends, Korean friends who've never been abroad, who have the complete opposite experience. So they've never been asked, how are you? So that's like an open-ended question.
Right.
Whereas have you eaten is a yes-no question, right? Very easy.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. No, I haven't.
Right.
But the first time some of my Korean friends were asked how they were, they were like, I don't know how to answer this question. Like, how much detail do you want to know?
Do you?
Like,
Yeah. Do you remember did you see the movie Welcome to Dongmakgul? Came out a long time ago.
I might have. I don't remember.
Really great
Memory
movie.
slips me up.
Wonderful acting.
Okay.
Anyway, one
Yeah.
of the scenes in the movie, an American pilot had crashed his plane, I believe, and the village in the mountains. They helped.
remember it, with 강혜정.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
helped get him back to health, and they had their English textbook, and they asked him, "How are you?" And he said, "How do you think I am? My plane just crashed." And they said to each other,
Oh no, it's not in the
"Yeah,
book.
he's supposed to say, I am fine,
Fine,
thank
thank
you," but he's not saying that.
맞아요.
Funny, right?
문화와 함께 공부를 하게 되면 어떤 언어든지 간에 훨씬 깊이 있게 재미있게 공부를 할 수 있는 것 같습니다. 영어에서는 이제 이 How are you라는 질문이 처음 영어를 배우는 사람한테는 이 자체가 좀 낯설 수가 있듯이 외국인한테는 식사하셨어요? 라는 질문이 또 굉장히 어색할 수도 있군요. 네, 서로 이렇게 역지사지의 마음으로 이해하는 계기도 될 것 같습니다. Alright, well if you'd like to listen to the headlines that Steve and I just read a few minutes ago, you can do that by visiting our website. 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지에 들어오셔서요. 조금 전에 읽어드린 헤드라인 무료로 다시 들으실 수 있습니다. 많은 이용 바랍니다. Let's go over the headlines.
Let's do it. Headline number one this morning. China has sent a note of protest to the United States following the U.S. Congress's approving a bill on democracy and human rights in Hong Kong.
미국 의회 외교위원회에서 홍콩 인권민주주의 법안 심의가 통과되자 중국 정부가 강력히 반발하고 나섰습니다.
So this bill is called the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2019. And the reason 2019 is in that title is because it was first introduced 2 years ago in 2017, but now there have been a handful of amendments to the bill, powerful changes as they call them. One, the scope is going to be expanded to include anyone who had violated internationally recognized human rights in Hong Kong. Two, direct family members of people who violate those rights can now have their U.S. visas voided.
I see.
And number three, the original bill stated that the U.S. government would allow peaceful protesters to apply for a U.S. visa without obstruction, but they took out that word peaceful, and now it's just they will allow protesters to apply for a U.S. visa. This is considered a big win for people in Hong Kong who are in support of this.
Absolutely. 기존에 있었던 홍콩 인권민주주의 법안을 약간 수정을 해서요. 평화적인 시위를 했던 사람들이 미국에 갈 수 있다라는 이 부분에서 평화적인이란 단어가 빠졌습니다. 시위에 참가를 했었어도 미국에 들어갈 수 있다라는 얘기가 되겠고요. 그 다음에는 홍콩인의 자유를 억압한 자들에 대해서는 미국 비자 발급을 금지한다라는 내용도 일부 들어있다고 합니다. So in light of everything that's been going on, this means that possibly powerful people in China might not be able to go to America, whereas people in Hong Kong will.
Yes, and if it gets passed, we still have we still have some steps to go because next up, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is going to present this to the House of Representatives, and there it needs to achieve a simple majority in each, 218 out of 435 votes in the House, 51 votes out of 100 in the Senate. And if either chamber requires any amendments, they'll make those amendments. A joint committee will be set up to ensure the language is what they want it to be. Then it will go back to the House and the Senate for final approval. And finally, the bill will go, if it makes it that far, to President Trump. And he will have 10 days to either sign the act into law or issue a veto. So we still do have some steps to go.
네, 아직까지는 이 법안의 심의가 통과된 것이지 완전히 법안이 가결된 것은 아닙니다. 그런데 골자는 홍콩 시민들의 인권에 어떤 문제가 생긴다든지 크게 위협을 느끼는 경우에는 이제 홍콩 시민들을 좀 보호할 수 있는 그런 법안으로 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. Now, I'm curious to know what the response from China has been to all of this.
Well, they're not happy, obviously. Geng Shuang, who's a foreign ministry spokesperson, said, and I will quote him, the Chinese side strongly urges some people in the U.S. Congress to see the situation clearly, to immediately stop pushing the bill in relation to Hong Kong, to stop interfering in Hong Kong and China's internal affairs so that the relationship between China and the U.S. would not be further damaged.
네, 미국에서 이렇게 홍콩 시민들의 인권을 보호하기 위해서 법안을 수정하려고 하자 중국에서는요, 내정 간섭 하고 있다라고 얘기를 했고요. 경수왕 대변인의 얘기인데요. 어제 미국은 지금 홍콩의 과격한 세력 그리고 폭력배의 악행을 무시하고 있다. 이들의 편을 들고 있다라고 하면서 강하게 비판했습니다. All right, let's go on to headline number 2.
A magnitude 6.5 earthquake that hit Ambon in Indonesia's eastern province of Maluku has hit Ambon.
네, 인도네시아 암본섬 인근 해상에서 규모 6.5의 지진이 발생했습니다.
Yeah, this is really sad. This is really scary. And that is the part of the world that seems to get hit most by the earthquakes. I think they call that area the Ring of Fire, right? Anyway, the U.S. Geological Survey said that this quake struck about 37 kilometers northeast of Ambon in Maluku province at a depth of about 29 kilometers. It was quite strong, 6.5 magnitude. It hit at around 8:45 a.m. local time. There were also 24 aftershocks, about 24 aftershocks, including one that measured 5.6 on the Richter scale, so that's not small either. Many people injured, at least 20 people were killed, although I'm sure that those numbers will continue to grow, hopefully not, but that usually is the case. Landslides were seen, homes destroyed. really a tragic situation.
Normally, when earthquakes happen in Indonesia, we hear of tsunamis taking place as well. But this time around, no tsunami warnings have been issued. But people are fearing that this one, weather disaster could lead to another.
Well, they're taking the precautions that they can now. 2,000 people, I think, was the last number that I saw have been evacuated. So they're doing what they can in case more happens, I suppose.
네, 쓰나미 경보는 발령되지 않았지만 지금 수천 명이 대피를 했다라는 소식입니다. 진원지를 보면은요, 이게 인도네시아와 그 다음에는 오른쪽으로 이제 파푸아뉴기니 사이 정도에 있는데요. 보르네오 섬보다도 훨씬 더 오른쪽에 있는 지역입니다. This is slightly above Australia, further east from the island of Borneo. Right?
And a really small island,
Very
too.
small, but yes, catastrophic nonetheless. A school was hit directly because of this. 2 teachers, I understand, died because of the collapse of the school building. But as you said, the casualties and the numbers are going up. All right, let's leave that story there and go into headline number 3.
Headline number 3, abortion has now been decriminalized in almost all of Australia after a bill that decriminalizes abortion was passed in New South Wales.
호주 뉴사우스웨일스주에서 낙태 처벌 법률이 개정됨에 따라 호주 전역에서 낙태가 합법화됐습니다.
So in New South Wales, and New South Wales is home to Sydney, Australia, they voted on this bill that decriminalizes abortion. So previously, a quote-unquote unlawful abortion, that was listed in the Crimes Act, and it carried a possible penalty of 10 years in prison for a woman who administered her own abortion. To get a lawful, quote-unquote, lawful abortion, a doctor needed to agree that a woman's physical or mental health was in serious danger if she continued on with the pregnancy.
Right.
But under this new law, women will be able to get abortions up to 22 weeks into their pregnancy without having to prove their mental or physical health will be impacted if they continue. After 22 weeks, if they want to get an abortion, then they are going to need 2 specialists, 2 medical practitioners to sign off on it.
네. 그러니까 이 낙태 처벌 법률이 개정된 내용을 보면은요. 이제 앞으로는 22주 이내에 임신 여성이 낙태를 하게 될 경우에는 이것이 합법이다라는 얘기가 되겠습니다. And I understand that New South Wales will be lifting this ban for the first time in 119 years or something like that.
It's a very old law, and the supporters of this are very happy about the change. And what this means now is that abortion has been decriminalized everywhere in Australia, with the exception of South Australia. But South Australia's abortion laws are currently under review. And side note, in New Zealand as well, a similar bill to decriminalize abortion is currently going through their parliament.
네, 호주에서 이제 119년 동안 낙태를 범죄 행위로 처벌해왔던 뉴 사우스 웨일즈였는데요. 이로써 119년 만에 시드니를 관할하고 있는 주 뉴 사우스 웨일즈에서 abortion, 낙태가 합법화된다는 소식입니다. Catholics in the country, however, are not happy about that.
Yeah, that's right. Religious groups are upset. Anti-abortion activists are upset. Some MPs, members of parliament, have raised their concerns about late-term abortion, also about people using abortions to select the sex of their child. They see that as a potential problem as well. So many people are happy about it, but many people are also unhappy about it as well.
We're talking about Catholic countries and the religion of Catholicism. Let's go on to headline number 4.
Yes, this is the story of Fabiano Antoniani. Italy's constitutional court, this is the headline, Italy's constitutional court has virtually ruled in favor of euthanasia, opening the way for a change of law in the Catholic country.
네, 가톨릭 국가 이탈리아의 헌법재판소가 사실상 안락사를 인정하는 판단을 내렸습니다.
All right, so the name that I mentioned, Fabiano Antoniani. He was a music producer, he was a traveler, he was a motocross driver, and he was left tetraplegic and blind in 2014.
What does tetraplegic mean?
Well, we know quadriplegic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, it means that you're essentially a vegetable. This happened after a 2014 traffic accident. So Marco Cappato, that is the other name in this story, he's a member of Italy's Radical Party. This is what he did. He drove Antoniani to Switzerland in February of 2017, and he assisted his suicide. He helped him die. And the reason that he took him to Switzerland is because assisted suicide is legal in that country.
Right.
In Italy, however, helping someone or instigating someone's suicide is currently punishable by between 5 and 12 years in prison.
Okay.
So, Italy's constitutional court, they were asked to rule on the case, and this was their decision.
Yep.
Anyone who facilitates the suicidal intention of a patient kept alive by life support treatments and suffering from an irreversible pathology should not be punished under certain conditions. So this is a big decision by the Constitutional Court.
자, 이 사건에 대해서 굉장히 상세하게 스티브 선생님이 지금 설명을 해주셨는데요. 지난 2014년 안토니아니라고 하는 DJ 파보라는 예명으로 활동을 했던 인물이 있었는데 교통사고로 인해서 사지가 마비가 되고 사실상 이제 식물인간이 됐습니다. 이런 상태인 친구를 돕기 위해서 이제 카파토라고 하는 또 다른 인물이 스위tzerland로 DJ 파보를 데리고 가서 거기서 직접 목숨을 끊을 수 있도록 도와줬습니다. 스위tzerland에서는 이게 합법적이라고 해요. 정당한 이유가 있고 정말 이런 아주 고통스러운 상황에서 목숨을 끊으려고 할 때는 정당한 이유가 분명히 있어야 됩니다만 스위tzerland에서는 합법이라고 합니다. 이탈리아에서는 아니고요. 그랬는데 자 그래서 DJ 파보는 거기서 생을 마감했고요. 카파토가 이탈리아로 돌아왔어요. 그런데 이탈리아에서는 이렇게 누군가의 자살을 돕는다라는 것은 불법이었기 때문에 재판에 서게 됐고 그것에 대한 판결이 어제 나왔는데 다른 사람, 고통을 심하게 겪고 있는 사람의 목숨을 끊도록 돕는 일이 항상 범죄는 아니다라는 판결이 나온 겁니다.
After Marco Cappato came back to Italy from Switzerland, he turned himself in to the police.
Yeah.
And he's now being tried in a court in Milan on that charge of instigating or assisting suicide. But the Constitutional Court has been asked to clarify the current law, and he's likely to be acquitted of that charge.
그래서 이제 안락사에 관련된 법률에 어떤 변화가 예고된 것이 아니냐 이렇게 전문가들은 보고 있는데요. Now this is controversial in a way because Italy is known to be a Catholic country and I understand that the Catholic Church there is still very much opposed to the ruling.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there was a quote from Pope Francis on Friday who spoke out against assisted suicide and euthanasia. He said, "We can and we must reject the temptation, which is also favored by legislative changes to use medicine to satisfy a sick person's possible wish to die."
네, 교황청은 여전히 안락사에 반대한다는 입장입니다. Let's go on to our final headline.
Final headline for this morning. Former French President Jacques Chirac has passed away at the age of 86.
Jacques Chirac 전 프랑스 대통령이 향년 86세를 일기로 별세했습니다.
A quote from his son-in-law when speaking to the AFP, he said that President Jacques Chirac died surrounded by his family peacefully. Jacques Chirac was born in 1932. He was the son of a bank manager, and he served as the head of state from 1995 to 2007. Quite interesting, making him France's second longest serving post-war president after Francois Mitterrand. But his health had been steadily deteriorating for a long time until finally it got the best of him.
그렇죠. 수십 년 동안 프랑스에서 정치인으로 다양한 직책을 맡았었던 Chirac 전 대통령이 별세했다는 소식인데요. 한 3년 전부터는 실제로 이제 몸이 많이 좋지 않아서 그때부터 거의 이제 대중 앞에서 모습을 보이지 않았습니다.
He was important for France in their history for many different reasons, but he was the one that took France into the single European currency for the euro. And he served 2 terms as president and prime minister. And previous and current French leaders, were expressing their remorse through the media.
All right. Well, those are our headlines for this morning. Let's now remind our listeners of the quiz. Steve.
The quiz question this morning is
I believe you're
follows.
one of these. Something speaker of English.
Aren't we all? Oh, of English. Okay. Here's the question. A person who is very fluent in a certain language is known as, number 1, native, or number 2, AI.
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 총 5분께 추첨을 통해서 저자극 순환 비누 보내드리겠습니다. Our first song of the day today is by Elton John. It's Empty Garden. And when we come back, we'll have a look at our news focus stories. Let's look at our first news focus story now. 자, 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 중국에서 아프리카 돼지열병의 확산으로 인한 직접 손실이 1조 위안, 우리 돈으로 약 170조 원에 이른다는 추산이 나왔습니다. Let's listen to the story.
African swine fever has caused a direct loss of 1 trillion yuan, or about 170 trillion won in China, a pundit said on Tuesday at a pig industry forum. The country hogs half of all the pigs on the planet, but as of July, China had lost more than 100 million pigs in the last year. As a result, the price retailers pay for pork has spiked nearly 70% in the last year, and the average price that wholesalers pay suppliers was up 90% in the last week of August, year on year.
Well, over in China, pork is a very important ingredient for many of its recipes.
You told me something really interesting during the break.
Yeah.
About the terminology that is used in China for pork and meat.
Yeah, which is the same.
It's the same word.
It's the same word.
Which shows how important pork is to Chinese people, right?
Exactly, yeah. Whereas every other type of meat needs to have the animal character in front.
So Chinese people would say chicken, meat, beef, meat.
Exactly.
But if you say pork, or if you say meat. Sorry, I got it backwards. If they just say meat, then everybody knows that means pork. Wow, interesting.
Exactly. Well, African swine fever has hit China as well. A direct loss of 1 trillion yuan, which is about 170 trillion won, has been incurred there in China. And a pundit said this yesterday.
Yeah, pundit is basically a word you will see in the media a lot that means expert. If you're looking at a political story, you'll see the words political pundit.
Yeah.
And it just means expert. We don't really use it in everyday conversation unless you are reporting on what you read.
Right.
Pundits say the economy will recover next year.
Yeah.
It's just a fancy way of saying experts say.
Yeah, and he actually said this on Tuesday, not yesterday. Excuse me there. 펀디트는 여기서 이제 전문가라는 뜻인데요. 거의 뉴스에서 이렇게 경제 전문가 아니면은 뭐 정치 전문가라는 의미로만 쓰입니다. 스티브 선생님과 저 같은 경우에는 지금 거의 20년 동안 라디오를 했지만 우리는 뭐 라디오 펀디트라고 부르지 않아요. That's not a term used.
No.
그러니까 political pundit, maybe economic pundit, but in the news anyhow, you hear pundit a lot.
Absolutely.
And the country hogs half of all the pigs on the planet.
This is obviously a play on on words. Hog is to be greedy and to keep something for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But a hog is another word for a pig. So to say that China hogs half of all the pigs on the planet, it's a play on words, meaning that they are greedy and they keep them. It's playful speaking.
Right,
Obviously,
right.
China is not greedy with their pigs. They supply a lot of the world with pork. But to hog something, you say this to children a lot. Actually, let me rephrase that.
All right.
Children say this to children a lot, right? So if you have 2 kids and your little boy is not sharing his toys with your little girl, she might say to him, "Stop hogging the toys. Stop being greedy. Stop keeping them for yourself. And as your mom or dad, they might say, yeah, stop hogging the toys. Share with your sister.
네, 독차지한다라는 뜻입니다. hog가 동사로 쓰였을 때는 뭔가 이렇게 차지한다, 독차지한다이지만 명사로서 hog는 돼지라는 뜻이 있거든요. 그래서 좀 언어 유의라고 보시면 되겠고요. The price retailers pay for pork has spiked about 70%.
Yeah, spiked. We see this word all the time, don't we, in the news? And it means a sharp increase, a sudden increase, and a large increase.
네, 여기서는 이제 갑자기 증가했을 때 spike 했다라는 표현을 쓸 수 있고요. And we're looking at the average price going up about 90% in the last week of August, year on year.
Yeah, year on year is very simple in its meaning. When you compare 1 year to the next year, 2018 to 2019, the price that wholesalers paid was up 90%. So comparing August of 2018 to August of 2019, year on year.
네, 이것도 역시 뉴스에서 많이 나오는 표현이고요. 실제 대화에서는 잘 쓰지 않지만 year on year 그러면 전년 대비라는 뜻입니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
African swine fever has caused a direct loss of 1 trillion yuan, or about 170 trillion won in China, a pundit said on Tuesday at a pig industry forum. The country hogs half of all the pigs on the planet, but as of July, China had lost more than 100 million pigs in the last year. As a result, the price retailers pay for pork has spiked nearly 70% in the last year, and the average price that wholesalers pay suppliers was up 90% in the last week of August, year on year.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 홍콩의 4대 부동산 개발 기업 중 하나인 뉴월드 그룹이 보유 토지의 약 18%에 해당되는 8만 4천 평의 토지를 정부와 사회단체에 기부한다고 밝혔습니다. Let's listen to the story.
New World Development Co., one of Hong Kong's largest home builders, will donate 3 million square feet, or about 84,000 pyong of land, to help with the city's housing crunch. New World will donate the plots, about the size of Grand Central Station in New York, from its farm land bank. New World has 16.9 million square feet, or the equivalent of about 475,000 pyong of farmland, so the donation would total almost 20% of that.
Well, the government in Hong Kong and some pundits in Hong Kong say this could be one of the solutions to the ongoing riots. We'll have to see how this plays into that.
Yeah, and it's something maybe that we don't talk about when we talk about the situation in Hong Kong, because a lot of the focus has been on the extradition bill.
Yeah.
But the housing prices in Hong Kong are astronomical, unaffordable for a lot of people. And you're right when you say that this may help with that problem.
Yeah, and I suppose if you look at the, cause and effect of how housing prices could lead to the extradition bill issue, I suppose it could be that the housing prices are so high and that leads to more crimes because you need money and then la-di-da-di-da, and then you could end up in Beijing.
It snowballs.
It does. Okay, so we're looking at Hong Kong's housing shortage or crunch.
Crunch in this context means to have a problem with something. So they have a housing crunch. They have a housing problem. There's a shortage.
Shortage of it specifically here,
yeah, that's what it means specifically. But generally speaking, if there's a problem. Specifically, there's a lack of housing there. And that's why this New World Development Co. is donating this.
그렇습니다. 홍콩에 이렇게 housing crunch 그러면은 주택 부족이라는 뜻이 되겠죠. 주택난이라는 것을 여기서 이렇게 표현을 한 거고요. New World, that's the corporation, it will donate the plots.
Plot means a piece of land. And these are big too. The size of Grand Central Station in New York. So this is not a small piece of property. But yeah, when we talk about real estate, when we talk about empty space or land, that land is divided by boundaries, right?
Right.
It has borders. And that whole thing we call a plot of land.
땅의 단위이기도 하고요. 그냥 어떤 땅, 지대를 뜻하는 단어이기도 합니다. 그래서 여기서는 이제 토지라는 의미로 쓰였습니다. Often when we talk about a large number, in this case, a large plot of land, it can be hard to envision what that might look like. So we say it is equivalent to, and in this case we're looking at 평.
Yes, exactly. 475,000 pyong of farmland, and it's equal to that amount. Yeah, we're putting it in a context here so that a person can imagine how much land we're talking about, how big the plot is. So 16.9 million square feet. Maybe we don't know how much that is, how big that is, but it's the equivalent to 475,000 pyong.
어떤 것에 해당되는 무엇과 동일한, 어떤 것에 상당한 라는 뜻으로 이제 같다라는 의미의 equivalent to가 여기서 쓰였는데요. 앞에는 이제 feet라는 단위로 그 공간을 얘기를 했기 때문에 이게 잘 와닿지 않을 수 있잖아요. 그래서 it is equivalent to 그러면서 평으로 단위 환산을 한 겁니다.
By the way, I think too, if we put the in front of equivalent, we say the equivalent of about 475,000 pyong. But if you take that the away, then we say equivalent to 475,000 pyong.
맞아요. 네, the equivalent of 아니면 equivalent to 하고 the를 빼고 얘기를 해도 됩니다. Thank you so much for that. Let's listen to the story one more time.
New World Development Co., one of Hong Kong's largest home builders, will donate 3 million square feet, or about 84,000 pyong of land, to help with the city's housing crunch. New World will donate the plots about the size of Grand Central Station in New York from its farm land bank. New World has 16.9 million square feet, or the equivalent of 475,000 pyong of farmland, so the donation would total almost 20% of that.
It's time to remind our listeners of the quiz. Steve.
Question once again. A person who is very fluent in a certain language is known as, number 1, a native speaker, number 2, an AI speaker.
How fluent are you in your language?
I wanted to bring this up, actually. Our quiz question is a little bit redundant this morning. A person who is very fluent in a certain language. Very is the redundant word, because if you are fluent, it means you know everything. So actually, it's impossible to be very fluent.
Right, because the opposite of that would be a little bit fluent.
Yeah, but you can't be a little bit fluent in its true definition. For conversation's sake, of course, we can say it like that.
네, 그렇습니다. 어떤 언어를 유창하게 할 때, 사실은 이제 모국어로 할 때 이 표현을 쓰죠. 1번일까요? Native speaker 아니면 2번 AI speaker 중에서 골라주시면 되겠습니다. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. We'll be right back after we listen to our next song. This is Sarah McLachlan. And I think, how do you pronounce this? I don't know how to pronounce this song.
Adia.
Adia. There you go. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 보겠습니다. 국제통화기금 IMF의 새 총재로 불가리아 출신 여성 경제학자인 크리스탈리나 게오르기예바 전 세계은행 최고 경영자가 선출됐습니다. IMF가 출범한 이후 두 번째 여성 수장인데요. Let's listen to the story.
Kristalina Georgieva, a top World Bank official, was chosen by the 189-nation International Monetary Fund's Executive Board on Wednesday to take the helm as the fund's managing director. The new director, who will take over at the IMF on October 1st, is the fund's first leader to come from an emerging market economy. Georgieva, 65, had held the number 2 post at the World Bank since early 2017.
Well, we're looking at the successor of Christine Lagarde, and her name is Kristalina Georgieva.
She is going to be the head. I didn't realize this, actually. International Monetary Fund, 189 countries represented in there. Yeah. She is going to be taking over as the fund's managing director on October 1st. So that's just, 4 days away?
Yeah, just a few days.
Yeah. So she will be taking the helm. I believe that this is an expression that comes from boats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the helm is the front of that's where the captain is.
I see.
On a ship.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's where you
didn't know that.
steer the boat. So to take the helm means to take charge because the captain of a ship is in charge of that ship. So when you take the helm, it's a figurative helm, of course, in this case. You are taking charge. You will be the boss.
Absolutely. 무언가의 우두머리가 된다 아니면 이 경우에는 이제 수장이 된다라는 의미로 take the helm이 쓰였는데요. 원래 helm은 배의 그 키라 그러죠. 우리말로 그 앞부분. 캡틴이 있는 부분을 얘기한다고 합니다. So the new director is the fund's first leader to come from an emerging market economy.
Emerging, if someone or something is emerging, it is now starting to show promise or growth or success. We talked about the Japanese politician who was an up-and-comer, right?
Yeah, Junichiro Shinjiro.
Yeah, right. So an up-and-comer can be considered as an emerging person as well, an emerging politician, an emerging singer, and in this case, an emerging market.
Emerging 그러면은 뭔가 이제 모습을 드러낸다라는 뜻이 있거든요. 그래서 완전히 선진국은 아니지만 가까이 가고 있는 개발도상국이랑 비슷한 의미로 볼 수 있을 것 같아요. Similar to developing nation.
It is, yeah. And it might be a little bit confusing because if you look at the word emerging, it kind of looks like emergency.
Oh, yeah.
Which might make you think, oh, this must have a bad meaning. Not related to that word at all.
Right.
Yeah, this is considered a very positive thing.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's listen to this story one more time. Oh.
Kristalina Georgieva, a top World Bank official, was chosen by the 189-nation International Monetary Fund's Executive Board on Wednesday to take the helm as the fund's managing director. The new director, who will take over at the IMF on October 1st, is the fund's first leader to come from an emerging market economy. Georgieva, 65, who held the number 2 post at the World Bank since early 2017.
I only just realised that we've come to the end of the show already.
We
It's
have.
about time to wrap up. All right. Well, we're going to do that by announcing the answer to the quiz.
Yes, a person who is fluent in a certain language is known as, number 1, a native speaker.
1번이 정답입니다. 이승원님, 유신호님, 2922 끝번호 쓰시는 분과 3458 끝번호 쓰시는 분, 그리고 리아501, 리아입니다. 미국에서 사연 보내주신 분 축하드립니다. We will send you a 순한 비누 set, 저자극 순한 비누 set. Let us know where we can send that to by visiting our website. Okay, well, I think it's actually time for us to wrap up. Do you want to very quickly tell us what today's expression
Very, very
might
quickly,
be?
the word hog.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about
Remember
it.
the two meanings.
And it means greedy, right? Yeah.
Or pig.
Or pig.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. Have a great Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow for the review show.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, coming up in hour 2 of Morning Special, we have Say What and also Lifestyle Tips with Andreas. Taking us there now is Son of Man by Phil Collins.